Welcome to the Plastic General. I'm your host, Christian Aldo. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at Spitfires by both Forces of Valor and 21st Century Toys. Also, we're going to be checking out some ground crew and pilots by ICM models. And then finally, we're going to take a close look at the big boy, a giant 132 scale Lancaster bomber by HK Models. Sound exciting? Let's go to war. Fire! So one of the first items we're going to look at today was a Spitfire that was released by 21st Century Toys. And sadly, this was one of the very last releases of that company that sadly went away. It's a Mark I Spitfire, so it would have been for the utilized in the Battle of Britain. And of course, like with old 21st Century Toys vehicles, it comes with a pilot. And it fits in there nicely, but I don't want to force it on camera. There we go. It's a really great model, and you can tell it's the Mark I by the lack of intake. They only had one intake on one side. The later models came out and they had two intakes. It also has a retractable landing gear, and it's a nice, accurate portrayal of a Spitfire. They're still decently common on eBay. You can pick them up for around $100. I rarely ever see aircraft, though, that are loose. But if you do, I mean, as long as it's in good condition. But there's still lots of them floating around. So the next item on our list was another Spitfire, but this was a later Mark. It was a Mark IX, and it was released by Forces of Valor. And this one, in stark contrast, is of a very, very heavy die cast. It's almost ridiculously heavy for an airplane. This is heavier than one of the 132 scale tanks. It's got a lot of movable parts. It's got a retracting fins. It's got the really heavy machine guns. It's got, of course, retracting landing gear. The two intakes that I spoke of earlier, and plus another one up here. And it comes with a fantastic pilot. This pilot is holding the actual clutch or the steering wheel, and you gotta get him in there somehow. Oh, there he goes. He gets in there. I'd have to force him. I won't do it right now. But it's another great airplane. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more great feature. You can lift this off and work on the motor, which brings me to our next subject, which is going to be ground crews by ICM out of the Czech Republic. And it's my favorite new model company because they're releasing dozens and dozens of different ground crews and pilot sets from all the nations of World War II. And let's take a peek at what they've been doing. ICM has been really hot on the 132 scale aircraft scene lately, with lots of aircraft releases. But my favorite thing about that company is that they've been releasing sets of 132 scale ground crews and pilots of all the nations of World War II. And so this first figure is, I have the guy holding a rivet gun. I customized this. You get 3 figures per set, and they give you instructions what to do. And I personally think they want you to do lame things. So I make them do exciting, more interesting things. So there he is riveting something. So he'd be, here riveting fixing some rivets on the tail. Brrr! That's what he'd be doing, fixing the rivets. This airplane's falling apart, so he's fixing it before it goes up in the air. Pose number 2 is just a ground crew, and he's sort of motioning, or he's sort of like maybe adjusting something. So if he was underneath a bomber, perhaps he'd be adjusting some bombs or something under the airplane, looking at a hatch. Pose number 3, an RAF ground crew, and he is carrying ammo belts to load into the Hispano machine gun. And there's the back of him. I customized this figure. I had some rubber ammunition from some other model kit or something. I just glued it on his body. And, he'd probably be up either here or down at the front of the airplane. like loading in the ammunition. Pose number 4, another ground crew member adjusting something. He could be adjusting a flap, the back of the plane, or again, adjusting anything. He's an adjuster. Let's just say he's just having fun adjusting. Pose number 5, another custom job by me. I chose to have this figure carrying a very, very, very heavy toolbox, one that probably be too heavy to carry in real life, but he's got a lot of tools to carry around. So, and finally, pose number 6 is another custom job, and I had this guy. He's holding he's working with a fuel drum and fueling up an airplane. And so wherever the fuel, he'd be loading it into the wing somewhere. So when they're all working on a plane together, it gets pretty exciting. They're very busy putting this Spitfire back together again to meet the Germans in the sky above France by the time that this particular model came out. And no airfield is complete without the Spitfire pilots, also by ICM models. And I did forget to mention that the Forces of Valor Mark 9 Spitfire also came with a standing pilot. These guys will also bring more life into your your fun setup diorama moments. And finally, for the big boy, a 1/32 scale Lancaster Mark 1, and it was released by HK Models, otherwise known as Hong Kong Models, and it's pricey. It's about $300, and it's, by the way, it's got a full interior. It's got all the working turrets, gun stations. There's one at the back. They pop out. You can see inside of them. They fit in nicely. And of course the canopy pops off. I allow it to pop off, and you can set some pilots in there. There's a pilot, and then there's a co-pilot down below, or navigator. And this is another gun turret, and that's the bombardier station. And underneath is the bomb bay. Now, what I do with my landing gear is these are separate. They pop on or off, and then so I built my landing gear separate, so I can either have a scene when this is on, it can be flying in the air, or I can put the landing gear in temporarily to sit it on the ground to create the type of scenario you're going to see today. I really love doing these airfield setups, the airfield scenes. So here you have the HK Models Lancaster. I have a guy working on the propeller. Got someone loading the bombs in the bomb bay. There's a few other interesting things that are worthy of note. This is a Timmy truck that's very much been reissued for cheap. They were made in the 60s, but someone's reissuing them now a lot. There's a neat little sled there filled with bombs. I had custom made this bomb thing here of the guy pulling it's a bomb sled. There is a staff car. There's a staff car by Airfix, and there's a crew standing around. An officer who's probably giving some sort of orders. And here, of course, you have this sexy assistant and some rich RAF guy. And then, this is a one of those tin silo sheds, and this is made by New Ray Toys. They pop up on eBay every now and then, and I sort of made that radar tower out of some old train stuff that I scored. And of course, we have the Mark 9 Spitfire. These pilots. bragging about their victories and exploits. And then we had this little thing left over from 21st Century Toys and a little tent. And then I made this tower, the communications tower. I made it from something from an old train set, but then the station on the top, I just scratch built that from some polystyrene. If you get in there deep, like there's all kinds of really cool details on the table and like radio communication stuff. There's even like a little light on the top. I apologize for not having painted this. I should have had it all painted up on time for this episode. There's more fun details there, like the telephones and the radios and stuff, and his breakfast and his coffee and the map. And of course you have the guys working on the motors. I can hear Tommy Dorsey now. Bum, bum, bum. So, if you loved today's show, which I hope you did, please remember to hit the subscribe button. And then after you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so that whenever we come out with a new episode, which is every Wednesday and Saturday, that you'll be notified and we'll send the episode right to you. And then hit like, and then of course, please feel free to leave comments. You know, I'm a hack. So there's lots of things to have fun with and a lot of comments to make and my inaccuracies and all that. We're just having fun, but I hope you're having fun. We'll see you next time. My name is Christian Aldo, and I'm the Plastic General.